Well, hey there, and welcome to Board to Learn, the channel dedicated to helping you learn how to play your new games faster. My name is Kent. Join me as we take a stroll along the beach in today's game, Sanibel, a drafting, pattern building, tile placement game for 2 to 4 conchologists. So meet me at the table and we'll get started. Welcome to Sanibel Island. You and your fellow travelers have made your way to this beautiful stretch of Florida coastline for a peaceful walk along the beach. The white sand is scattered with shining treasures from the sea just waiting to be discovered. As the sun rises and the salty breeze rolls in, it's the perfect time to wander the shoreline and hunt for the best seashells you can find. Take it all in, enjoy the moment, and soak up the warm sun and fresh ocean air. To set up, start by laying out the 3 game board pieces in a line. Make sure the beach chairs are on the left and the lighthouse is on the right, with the ocean along the bottom of the boards. Place the lighthouse standee on its spot in the upper right corner of the board. Next, make sure the 4 different shaped shell tiles are separated. Place all the hexagon tiles into the blue bag and all the diamond tiles into the orange bag. Place the triangle and zigzag tiles to the side for now. Looking at the board, the 7 middle sections each have a number of starting tiles and types marked on them. From the blue and orange bags, draw out the appropriate number of tiles and organize them so that they can be clearly seen on each section of the beach. Take the triangle tiles and randomly draw 5 for each player in the game. Place them in a shared pile to the side of the board. Place any remaining tiles back in the box. Give each player a player mat in the color of their choice. This is your bag for collecting shells. Place it in front of you with the open side at the top. Also, take a field guide in your chosen color and place it close to your mat. Now, shuffle the zigzag tiles and deal 2 to each player. Place the remaining tiles back in the box. These are your lighthouse tiles, which can be placed on your player mat at a specific time during the game. Read each tile to understand how to plan for placing it later in the game. For a more detailed explanation of each tile, refer to page 6 of the rulebook. Once you have looked over your lighthouse tiles, place them to the side of your player mat. Take the player pawns in the chosen colors of each player. Shuffle them and draw them out one at a time. Place them on the footprints on the beach section above the beach chairs, starting from left to right. Each player now draws out diamond tiles from the orange bag. The number of tiles each player draws is shown by their starting footprint. If you draw out a sand crab tile, draw a different tile, then place the sand crab back in the bag. Place the diamond tiles onto your player mat, or, in other words, into your bag. I will go over a few placement rules in just a minute. Place the wave token on its spot on the second beach section, just to the right of the player pawns. And with that, the setup is complete. Before we start our stroll, let's go over the placement rules so we can place our starting shells. When you place shells into your bag, they always fall to the bottom. At least one bottom edge of the tile you're placing must touch either the bottom of the bag or another shell already there. All shells must stay within the lines of the grid. You can't place a tile in a way that cuts through the diamond spaces printed on the board or leaves partial spaces uncovered. If any part of a shell would stick outside the grid, it can't be placed at all. Also, if you completely close off empty spaces, you won't be able to fill them later. To place a shell on a space, that space must have at least one edge open to the top of the bag, creating a clear path for the shell to drop in. Shells that share an edge are considered adjacent. Depending on the tile you place, you'll score points based on whether shells are adjacent or not. 2 or more adjacent shells of the same type, including those printed on the same tile, are treated as a connected group. You can also fill triangle spaces for free. Along the edges of your bag are 5 triangle-shaped grid spaces. On your turn, whenever one of those triangles has a tile directly beneath it, you may fill that space at no cost, as long as it still has an open edge to the top of the bag. Simply take any triangle tile you like from the shared pile and place it there. When scoring, these triangle tiles count the same as diamonds. For a full breakdown of how each shell type scores, refer to your handy field guide for a good reference. With that, place your starting shells and let's get to our walk. Each player begins at the beach chairs and moves along the shoreline path, gathering shells and organizing them in their bag to earn points. When you arrive at the lighthouse, you'll place your special lighthouse tiles, then head back down the beach toward the chairs. After every player has completed their walk, the game comes to an end and everyone adds up their points. The player with the highest total is the winner. There isn't a set order to the turns in this game. The player furthest back on the path always takes the next turn. On your turn, move your pawn forward along the path as many spaces as you'd like and stop on a footprint to claim it. You must leave the beach section where you began your turn, and you can't claim a footprint that another player is already on. You're free to skip over one or more beach sections if you want. Once you've claimed a footprint, collect the number of shell tiles shown there. You can take any mix of hexagon and diamond tiles. If you pick up a sand crab tile, discard it immediately and collect one shell tile of your choice from a different beach section. You can't take another sand crab, and you can't take a shell from the section you're currently on. All discarded sand crabs go into their own separate pile, not back into the tile bag or onto the beach. Place the shells you collected onto your player mat, following the normal placement rules. While you're arranging them, the player who is furthest back on the path can go ahead and begin their turn. During this turn only, you are allowed to adjust and rearrange the shells you just collected until you're happy with their placement. Shells placed on previous turns can't be moved. Once all of your shells are placed, your turn is over. The wave token is an active part of the game as well. If it is ever further back on the path than all the players' pawns, it will take a turn by washing new shells onto the beach. To do this, move the wave token to the next wave symbol on the path. Look at the new symbol to see what type of tile and how many to place. Then draw tiles randomly from the appropriate bags and place new tiles on each of the 7 middle beach sections, starting from left and moving right. Always replenish each section of the beach, even if you won't be able to stop at a section again. Sand crabs still allow you to choose shells from any section. When players reach the lighthouse, they must stop at one of the footprints here. This is the only section that cannot be skipped. Depending on the footprint you choose, you will be able to place one or both of your zigzag tiles at this time. Then you'll get to choose 1 or 2 shells from along the beach to place on your mat, depending on which footprint you stopped at. The placement rules still apply, so be careful and make sure to plan ahead so you are ready to place your tiles here. They can be a bit tricky. Refer to page 6 of the rulebook for questions on zigzag tiles. If you only place one zigzag tile, return the remaining tile back to the box. From the lighthouse, continue back along the beach towards the chairs, only this time along the bottom of the board, closer to the water. When you reach the chairs, claim a footprint like normal and perform its action, if any. Once all players have reached the chairs, the game is over, and it's time to move into scoring. Pull out the score pad and refer to the field guide for how each shell type scores. Add up the totals, and the player with the most points wins, proving they have the sharpest eye for conchology. If there's a tie, the player furthest forward on the path wins. And that's how to play Sanibel. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to learn more great games. Turn the bell on to be notified of my latest videos. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. And remember, it's not just how you play, it's how much fun you have. I'll see you next time on Board to Learn. My name is Kent. Join me as we take a walk. My name is Kent, and today, Sanibel, a drafting, pattern building, pile placement. Sanibel, a drafting, pattern building. Sanibel, a drafting, pattern building, tile placement game for 2 to 4 colleges.
Well, hey there. Welcome to Board to Learn, a channel dedicated to help you learn new games faster. My name is Sam, and today we're going to be learning Sanibel, a very interesting game. You see, that's a seashell. That's a seashell. Seashell. More seashells. This is the beach. Beach, and it's a very beautiful game. So meet me at the table, and we'll get started.